Yeah, the Huns are good for that.
What do the Mongols do?
Mongols have Mangudai, and they're good for siege. Mangudai are like they're cavalry archers. They're bonus against siege.
Now.
They have a bonus against siege weapons, and the Mongols also have a lot of good perks for archers, cavalry archers, and horseback units. Combined with elite Mangudai army, you're pretty cool. You can defend yourself from any siege weapons. Your team bonus as the Mongols is to get a speed bonus for all siege units, apart from your something or other from siege workshops. So it doesn't include trebuchets, but all your siege workshop units move faster for your whole team.
Right.
The Huns are more like, we don't need houses, so you can just start making people. Don't build a house ever, which means you have less builders, which means you have more lumberjacks. However, I was reading a thing about. They said that Byzantines are the best race. I guess they are races, sort of.
Racist.
Yeah, they're racist. The Byzantines have the best all-round unique unit, the cavalry unit. Because when he's fully bonus, when he's fully perked, he's very powerful, and you can also get him castle age. He's still a very, very good unit. I like using the Britons because they have the longest range archers. They're good for, like, if you spam loads of towers and all that shit, you get like and then make an army of archers to defend your friends, but not your foes. You can get quite a cool attack. Then I like the Vikings because they stop the camera. They have very good naval units. They got the longboats. They're like boats. They've got all sorts of. They've got all of the.
If you don't have a sea map, then.
If you don't have a sea map, you can still use their berserkers, which they regain health over time. So if you have like a huge army of berserkers, and if they don't all die, then they'll come back as a stronger force just by standing there. And in general combat, you have your infantry, their bonus against buildings. You can have the guys, champions, and from militia to champion, that thing, they're good against buildings. From spearmen to halberdier, they are very good against cavalry because they got pokes.
Yeah.
Your
same mountain blade, really.
Your archers, you have the default archer, good against infantry, bad against infantry when they're close. He's standard. Then you have skirmishers, which are anti-archers for all sorts of archers, but they're very weak in general. But when they throw their little sticks at archers, they have a bonus. And then the cavalry archers are good for like quick swipes and you know, scrambling.
Like hit and run.
Yes, I think skirmishing is the word they use for.
What do you mean, like guerrilla warfare?
No, guerrilla warfare is using, basically staying alive because you don't have many people, and like using all of your resources to cleverly defeat your opponent one by one. But that doesn't really happen in Age of Empires at all.
Don't have enough guerrillas.
Another thing that you might not know is the best way to attack someone is with rams.
What, just anybody?
If you have an army, you say, and you can move them with your ram is better than a trebuchet effectively, because unless you have lots of trebuchets, they're really vulnerable. And what you do with rams is they just keep moving forwards. Arrows can't get them, only units can. That's why you have an army. So you move your army, but some of them can go inside the ram if you want. That means when the ram explodes, they just hop out and stab people. Like in World War
They have
III.
that thing they have on some. You know, you see them sometimes. They're like big towers that are pushed on wheels in Mountain Blade as well, but they're not as well made.
Oh, they have that in the the expansion pack, the Forgotten Empires, I think.
Yeah.
I don't think they're that useful. Maybe they are. I haven't tested them. But anyway, back to Age of Empires. Another thing you should look out for is, I think it's the Persians or the Saracens or someone. I think it's Saracens maybe. They have the Mamluk. What's unique about Mamluk is that they're cavalry. So that means they're fast. People with swords can't poke them unless you let them. They're ranged, but they're also bonus against buildings, because a bit like throwing axemen, they're ranged and they can throw axes and whatever they're throwing. I don't know how many of those they have. It seems quite a lot for one camel thing, Mamluk. But they act like champions, but they're on horseback and they're ranged, so they're useful for destroying buildings. And you can get them out of there quickly. Then one of my favourite things to do is, if you get the scout to light cavalry, then to hussar, they're really cheap. They're like as cheap as villagers. Once you have a good food supply, you can just make 1 billion hussars, and they only cost 80 food each. You can just shove them like a huge force into the enemy. They could do some damage, they probably will, but the main reason you make them is because they just get in the way. They're really annoying for the other guy. I mean, if your city is flooded with people on horses, you know what? How do you get the cheese to the market?
They can't even ride. They're just stuck there.
Yes.
It's all crammed in the walls like spaghetti.
You can just keep sending them, and they won't be able to say, stop making hussars because you haven't. You don't. They
Diplomatic solution.
Yeah. You'll just get in the way all the time, which is good for you. Hand cannoneers are the worst unit to use, unless you have elephants in the enemy team. So don't make hand cannoneers. They're useless. And also Janissary, unique cannon man. I think he's Turkish or some shit. Don't get him.
The guy who rides on horseback with a pistol.
Boya.
I think he's Spanish.
Conquistador.
No, it's Dave.
Oh yeah, it's Dave.
Dave?
Dave.
Yeah, it's a Spaniard who rides on a horse with a pistol.
Am I
semi-automatic?
I don't get.
No, it's it's
Conquistador. Yeah, they're pretty bad. The AI is fucking dumb. If I tried this, a 2 versus 1 on hardest, I was the one, and I built a palisade just far away so that no one would walk past without destroying it. And for the whole game, they just didn't want to destroy the palisade. They just walked around it with a huge army waiting, like some sort of toll gate, like in that film. So I could see their army just standing there waiting. I tried this. No, I don't know if anyone else knows this. If you get your scout, and he goes at a lumberjack, what happens is all the other lumberjacks come to the rescue and try and kill your scout. With patrols, if you push down shift and right click, it adds a waypoint. What you can do is make a large circle. You just make him loop patrol in that, and he goes in a big circle. All the lumberjacks will forever just be following this scout, trying to kill him instead of doing their work, and you can just leave him be. They will never get wood.
Lol. Isn't there a thing you can do when you sort of make a tower defense and you leave an open bit in the palisade that twists and turns so they don't destroy it because they know there's a path through it, but it's a really long path and they're getting shot all the while?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. If it's too much of a maze, they will destroy it. However, if you make it just like that, and then there's your stuff and you put castles and stuff, they might have trebuchets, which will be annoying for you because you have to leave the maze. The funnest way, instead of the most practical way to do things, is just to make 1 billion saboteurs. The ginger men with barrels. Who knows what's in them? Probably gunpowder, but I don't think it is. It's probably something else.
What?
I don't know.
Nitroglycerin?
Nitroglycerin.
Nitroglycerin.
But it reminds me of how important Guy Fawkes was in
yeah, that's exactly how they did it as well. They just sent loads of men to suicide.
All the people of London, well, not kind of London, they were like, who are they? And then there's the huge line of people with barrels, all looking identical in their posture. And then they just stand there. And then they get a king. The king gets the letter saying, "We are now enemies," and then he looks outside and the town blows up because all the people with barrels have changed their opinion on the town.
How do they light them if both hands are carrying barrels like that?
Well, they just follow orders.
How?
It's funny that they don't actually light a fuse or anything, they just blow up.
I'm like, I'm really angry.
Well, I like to imagine that the barrels are already like burning somewhere and they just blow up whenever they need to.
How do they time it that well? Doesn't make you fucking just fuck the logic.
So that's your tips and handy how-nosed for Age of Empires, is it?
Congratulations.
So there you have it, everybody. The tips and handy know-how for Age of Empires 2, available on Steam.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
Well, it is, but it's HD.
HD.
But it's very bad HD. I still play it. You can get texture packs, mate. That was pretty different from the first game. You can play it in 16:9 resolution. Wow. Often that actually runs slower than the original. How cool is that?
Well, really? True facts.
According to true facts. You know.
Ending solo.
Basically, just make loads of villages. That's all you need to do.